Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Dave with Safe Day Trading. Today's day is to help you understand the Safe Day Trading dot just a little better so that you can make yourself very, very profitable. So we're going to explain what the dot system is all about and how you can make yourself money just following the dot. The first thing we talk about with the dot is being dotified. Now the dot simply means that the dot shows up. And throughout the candle being formed, it can be on and then off and on and then off. And that's what we call a flasher. In this case, you see three dots on the screen. This first one, that one did get dotified. It never did get ratified. Then here we see a dot coming down. It is bona fide, and it did get ratified here, but it never got certified. So therefore, it's just, the trade goes bad. Now you could have made money if you got in with the dot and just followed the dot. And you could have got in there at 1730.50, and when you seen the dot, you said, okay, I'm going to follow it down. I went all the way down to 1728. So was there money there? Absolutely, there was money there. But what we found when we came up with the dot is that that's not the best method for consistent profit. When we made the dot in Safe Day Trading, we came up with what our perfect trade was. And we used that scenario to create some software guys that understand code, and they were able to figure out, take everything that we gave them and said, okay, when all this happens, your dot's going to form. And that is what you're seeing in front of you right now. Those three dots, they all came about because of the original code. And with that, we were right about 55 to 60% of the time that this dot is going to make you profit. That wasn't good enough for us. So we started adding different things and testing different things until we got that from 55, 60% to 65%, then 67%, and then 68% of the time that it would work. And we just kept looking at different indicators. We kept looking at different scenarios until we found something that seemed to work. We tested it and then back tested it and tested it again and tested it some more until we were confident that that is something that we added and it would increase our percentage. Well, we got it to the point where it's 70 to 80% effective, sometimes as much as 83%. And it kind of depends a little bit on what instrument you're trading, what stock you're trading, how much volume there is, and all those kind of things. And what we do is kind of look at it and determine the profitability, and based on each instrument, where the targets are. And we'll show you that as well. What we want to do is help you understand where your targets should be based on the instrument that you're trading and volume for the day. So this is dotified. In this particular slide, we see the dot is formed. We're getting, at this point in time, it's just there. We don't know if this is the end of the candle right now because the next candle hasn't shown up. But at this point in time, it's considered dotified. And what we're looking for is that we want to see it bona fide. Now, bona fide is when the dot at the end of that candle stays there. So here's the dot. It has stayed there through the end of the candle. So right now, the end of the candle, the closing mark was right here, about 1731 point, we'll call it 0.7, yeah, 0.7 we'll call it. And the next candle has started. And it dropped down a little bit, and it has not been ratified. So ratification simply means that it goes farther than the previous close. So here was a close, and it was a bullish candle. So it has to go above this point to the next point. And right here at 1731.9, it went there. So this one was 1731.7, we'll say, and it went up to 1731.9. So it's bona fide, and now it's ratified. Now that doesn't mean we get into trade yet. Remember when we said we came up with the code? When we first seen the dot, we could get in the next candle after the dot, and it would make you money 60% of the time. Well, we came up with some other things. That what makes it ratified, that you get confirmation that it's going in that direction. A simple illustration is a dot that showed up here. It got bona fide, but it never got ratified here, see? And it came down. So if you would have got in on this dot, just relying on the dot, it ended up being shooting star, and you wouldn't have got any money. Now, you could have been faked out. You see this hammer here, but a hammer on the top end is more than likely a hanging man rather than an actual hammer, and especially when it's followed up with a shooting star. But if you would have just followed the dot, you would have got a losing trade on this one. This one, you could have got bona fide and ratified and said, okay, I'm just going to get in here and trade it And it went all the way down and all the way back up. Now, at this point in time, I can't tell you how long this process took. It could have went down there in a second and back up in a second. And you might not have got any money, or you might have got a little bit of money. If you would have got in here and just taken it down to where it closed, you would have been okay. But we always want to wait now for it to be ratified. So it's bona fide and now it's ratified. So now we've got confirmation that it is going to be a bullish move in this particular case. And then we have to wait for it to get certified. Now, certification requires a few different things. The 8 needs to go in your direction. This line right here, it's inside the course, we call it an itchy line. And then down here, we see that the turbo has crossed the 0 line. All those things together, we consider to be certified. And you'll go more into the course and see all these instances of what we're talking about. Here's a 3-minute, here's a 2-minute, and we're seeing that it's certified on both of those. So that's what we want to see for the certification, that all the indicators are pointing in the direction. Now there's a few other things that you can always look at, but if we see that, we consider it certified and it's time to jump into the trade. So these are the same candles. It's bona fide and it's ratified here. And now we're certified to go, and we've got profitization here. The entry point was 1732. And at the certification process, and if we would have just followed it in, here we are, bona fide and it's ratified and it's got certified right there. As this 8 was going up and the itchy's going up. And we had 3 candles that it stayed pretty level. Well, you didn't make any money, but if you got to just believe the dot. And the dot's going to take you to promised land and to profit. And here we go, $150 profit in 6 minutes. And 3 of those minutes were spent waiting. Now you could have waited till here, because that really certified at this point in time, but it was, in essence, it was certified at this first little blimp here. You just had to wait for it. I mean, if you waited till it really was going, then you would have got in at this level. And again, you had a couple hammers here. So it told you were probably going in the right direction, and boom, $150 in 6 minutes. And that's per contract. So if you're playing 2 contracts, you made 300. 3, you made 450. And that's just the way it is with the safe day trading dot system. You believe the dot, you're going to make a lot.